The time is now 7:30 p.m. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Old Bridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting for May 19th, 2022. I am James Sullivan. As chairman of the board, I would ask you now to join me reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just 1 second. I think I'm having a sound problem here. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Old Bridge Township Zoning Board of Adjustment has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of the meeting, by prominently posting in the municipal complex an announcement giving the time, the date, the location, and the agenda of this meeting. Also by mailing such announcement to the Home News and Tribune, filing a copy of such announcement with the municipal clerk, and posting the same on the township website. Ms. C, could we have a roll call, please?
Chairman Sullivan.
Here.
Mr. Connor.
Here.
Mr. Stoner.
Here.
Ms. Chevalier. Ms. Chevalier.
You're still muted, Dorian. Would you raise your hand? Are you present? Okay, Dorian, I guess just did.
Mr. Scogno.
Here.
Ms. Andrews.
Here.
Ms. Testaverde.
Here.
Mr. Psychowski. Mr. Kunswich.
Here.
Mr. Dasty.
Here.
Mr. Gill.
Here.
Ms. Sawant.
Here.
Myself, Ms. C. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This meeting's being conducted electronically as a webinar on the internet. It's unique and it takes patience on all involved, as we are not gathered in the courtroom this evening, but we're doing this meeting on a Zoom from our own homes or home offices. This meeting is also being televised simultaneously by OBTV Channel 15, as well as YouTube Live. I remind those watching on any device that there's up to a 30-second delay in communication. This will be important to remember if you wish to personally join a public portion on either of the two applications this evening. Anyone calling in, you're going to have to lower your device or you'll be confused by the time delay when you're trying to speak. I would ask all participants in the meeting now to silence their own cell phones to avoid any disturbances. Our meeting follows the same protocols as if we were in the courtroom. Tonight we have some general housekeeping issues, some administrative issues, and tonight we'll have two applications. I don't see a need for any kind of recess this evening, but after each application, after there's testimony, there's a public portion, and that becomes important to you watching at home. Should you have any comment on either of the two applications, there'll be numbers put up on the screen in front of you at the appropriate time. You'll be given a chance to call, personally call, and through the magic, Ms. C will put us live with you, and we can listen to your comments, questions, or any other issues that you want to discuss. Having said that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. C, who's going to make some further announcements.
Just a few reminders. The zoning board members will be unmuted during the first half of the meeting when they will be required to vote on other agenda items. The zoning board attorney, chairman, and secretary will remain unmuted throughout the meeting. Everyone else will be muted. Once the presentation for the application begins, the applicant's professionals will be asked to turn on their video and unmute themselves in the order in which they will testify. For the public, I will announce the last 4 digits of the caller's phone number to come forward and announce their name and address. I will also announce the last 4 digits of the next caller's phone number so that they will be prepared. We will share our screen to display any exhibits. The meeting information will be displayed on the screen multiple times during the meeting so that any resident who wishes to call in and join the meeting can do so. Please be patient. You will have an opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Indian, and welcome everyone, all board members and those professionals here this evening. We're going to go by the agenda, except I'm going to hold up the 2021 annual report till after the resolution. So we'll take that last. Item 3 on the agenda is minutes, board members. It's minutes of May 5, 2022. Hopefully everyone has had a chance to review them. Having said that, I'd ask someone to move them for adoption, absent any commentary or suggestions for deletions or insertions.
Move it for adoption, Scogno.
Move, Mr. Scogno, is there a second?
I'll second Stoner.
Mr. Stoner seconds. Roll call, please.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
I think I saw her put her finger up, a thumb up as a, yeah, you're still muted though, Doreen.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
I wasn't at the last meeting. Should I vote on this? Yes, I mean, I have no issue with it.
Yeah, as long as you read it, you can vote
As long
on it.
as you read it, yeah.
I did read it, yes.
Yeah.
It's all fine.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. We have 2 resolutions, board members tonight. We'll call the first one in 34-2021Z. It's Calvary Chapel Old Bridge Amended Resolution. And before I ask Mr. Dasty move to recite the resolution in short, this was an application that I want you to understand that was already approved. But what happened was things were left out of written resolution. So in order to make that whole, we had to amend it. So you're not voting on anything other than amending the application to include, I think there's 2 other items that are missing. I'll now turn it over to Mr. Benson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, the matter was approved. The issue is that during resolution compliance, it came to the attention of the planning department that there were certain waivers that were approved in at the hearing were not incorporated into the resolution of approval. So there are half a dozen or so waivers that were from page, I think 5 or 6 of Ms. Sawant's review memorandum were inadvertently left out of the resolution of approval. So the amended resolution just recaptures those waivers that were granted, just so that way there's a paper trail, if you will, as to what was approved. So it really is very minor in nature. It was already approved. It was just incorporating essentially a typographical error from the original resolution of approval.
Did you want to highlight them at all, Mr. Dasty, or is it not necessary?
I will, Mr. Chairman, if you give me just 1 second. I'm just going to pull it up because I think I have an earlier version of the agenda, so I didn't have it there with me. 1 second. So the amended resolution, and again, these are from Ms. Sawant's page 6 of her review memorandum from about a year ago. It incorporates waivers for the depth of the stalls. I guess there's a 20-foot requirement, 18 feet was existing and proposed. The other one was a minimum curb return radius, 5 feet was required, 3 feet is what was approved. The parking facilities, the requirements were that they cannot be closer than 5 feet from any of the side yard or rear yard property line. There was no requirements set forth in the resolution itself, but it was just, again, capturing that requirement. And then there was the landscape islands. It had to be an island for every 10 stalls, and there were none proposed or a part of the application. So it was those 4 items that again were approved at the original hearing, but were left out of the resolution of approval. Those 4 very minor design waivers.
Literally, the resolution as approved on the date in 21 hasn't changed whatsoever, but the written paper record didn't contain those items that you just mentioned, correct?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman. Correct.
Okay. Board members, any questions?
Chairman Sullivan, if I may.
Ms. Sawant, by all means.
Sure. So what actually happened is, you might recall, In the past, it has happened that the board votes on the waivers. However, sometimes they don't get captured in the resolution. So as a practice, what we started doing last year onwards, we would copy paste the bulk variance table and the waiver table from my memo into the resolution so that we don't miss and we don't have to bring the resolution back in front of the board. What happened was just a sheer accident that there was a table that was half on one page and a remainder on the next page. The table, when copied into the resolution, only the one page was copied and not the second page. And that's how we missed those 4 waivers. But I have verified that those waivers were granted. There was testimony provided for those waivers. So it's just a matter of fixing the resolution so that I can go ahead with the compliance review for the church.
Thank you, Mr. Wan. Board members, any questions? Reference this matter? Does someone want to move the amended resolution for approval?
Scogno, move it, approval.
Is there a second?
Second, Stoner.
Moved in second. Roll call, please, Ms. Sig.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
You're muted, Doreen. You don't see her on the screen yet.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes,
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. All right, we'll move forward to the next resolution. That's 11-2022Z. It's Charles Goodwin, C&D variances. Mr. Dasty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I think before we proceed, unless that is feedback from, yeah, it was, as a matter of fact. Okay, that was it. Ms. Chevalier, if you can fix that, come back on the screen.
Yes.
There you go. Sounds
There
perfect.
we go.
Sounds perfect.
Thank you, Mr.
Dasty, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This matter was heard at the last meeting. It's a resolution memorializing the approval for D4 and C variance relief. It is for block 11,000.16, lot 17. The applicant proposes a 1-story addition. The existing 1-story dwelling is 2,408 square feet, and the proposed addition would be 1,927 square feet. It was heard before the board at the last meeting. The vote was in the affirmative to grant the variance relief. The resolution sets forth the variances as well as the lot requirements. So it is before you tonight. I can go deeper into it if you want, but it lays out the findings of the board from the last meeting.
No, I think everyone is here. Obviously, those who were at the meeting are aware of what it entailed. Having heard the resolution, this for memorialization, would someone move it, please?
Motion to approve, Connor?
Is there a second?
Second, Stoner.
Second is Mr. Stoner. Roll call, please.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
yes,
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Dasty. We move to a completeness waiver now. We have one. Pull this up. This is completeness waiver.
Sullivan,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Chairman Sullivan, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just want to remind the board members to keep their camera on because this is a virtual setup where I believe the board members are required to have their videos on. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris.
I was looking down, so I didn't see cameras going on and off, but if that is the case, you should all keep your cameras on so we can all see you and anyone that is talking to the board can address you. So please keep your cameras on.
All right. This is 15-22, 2022Z, South Old Bridge Volunteer Fire Company, Inc. This is the neighborhood commercial zone block 18081, lot 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, and 205. Physical location 958 Englishtown Road. This is for an addition to firehouse requiring major preliminary and final site plan with C&D variance. On May 16th, Ms. Sawant has authored a memo in reference to this matter that we've just spoken about. It says the subject property, also known as block 18081, lots 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, is located at 958 Englishtown Road in the CN zone. The property contains an existing firehouse building. The applicant is seeking approval for a major preliminary and final site plan with C&D variance relief to expand the existing firehouse building, which will create a larger garage bays to accommodate new fire trucks. Our office has reviewed the waiver request by the applicant for the following. Item 39B, profiles of all streets adjoining the project. Item 40A, existing and proposed trees, shrubs, and decorative items such as landscape, ties, mulches, and stone. Item 40B, the common and botanical names, sizes, planting schedule, and detailed planting methods of trees and shrubs. And finally, item 44, lighting plan, including locations and illumination coverage. Ms. Sawant further opines, quote, the applicant is proposing to expand the existing firehouse building in order to modernize the structure and allow for storage. No significant changes are proposed to the site. Our office recommends that all items listed be waived. The applicant should be advised that the waiving of any completeness item does not constitute approval of any portion of the application, and that any information found to be necessary during the review process must be supplied. Is Mr. Page?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I'm filling in for Jared. This evening, he had a conflict. Peter Klauser with the firm Harbor and Pape on behalf of the South Old Bridge Volunteer Fire Company. And this is a completeness waiver application. I have reviewed Ms. Sawant's report, and I'm certainly in agreement with her recommendations. Those are the waivers that we are requesting. I think sometimes they're just items that are not necessary or not applicable on the waiver list to all applications, as the checklists are sort of one size fits all. So I would ask that the board adopt Ms. Sawant's findings and grant the waivers so that we can move forward to the application.
Thank you, Mr. Klauser. Understood. Board members, any questions? See no hands. It's fairly straightforward. Ms. Sawant, anything else you want to say?
No, actually, it's a fully developed site. It's an expansion. The landscaping, lighting it all exists. So I'm comfortable recommending the board to grant that waiver.
Thank you. I'm fairly certain everyone has passed the South Old Bridge Fire Company on Englishtown Road. Having said that, is someone interested in moving the waivers?
Testaverde.
Is there a second?
Scogno.
Ms. Testaverde and Mr. Scogno have moved in second. Roll call, please, Ms. C.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
yes,
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, Mr. Klauser. Nice to see you. Board, I apologize. Probably what you hear in the background is my parrot. It's a cockatoo, and he's on a lower level, but he apparently is not in a good mood tonight. So I'm trying to keep muting myself when I'm not talking. I apologize again. We're going to move forward to the first application. It's 2022Z, Kamlesh Patel. This is in the low density zone R30, block 11252.11, lot 25. The physical location at 48 Stratton Road. This is for a home addition requiring a C variance. Is Mr. Patel here? Mr. Patel, oh, there you are. Okay.
Chairman Sullivan,
Go ahead.
I see Kamlish and the attendees, so I'm just going to move him up
Okay.
to a panelist.
Okay, very good. we get him yet or no?
There we go.
Thank you. Mr. Patel, can you hear us? And if you're connected, it's still connecting. Okay. Mr. Patel, when you do hear us, could you respond by voice? Still not. I think I jinxed the board because at our in-person meeting, I said we did this 31 times on Zoom with no problem. Ms. Seas, do you think there's a technical problem on our end or the other end?
I don't believe so. I've promoted him to a panelist, so he should be able to connect.
He's smiling. Mr. Patel, can you hear us?
He has to unmute himself.
No,
No, that's a different
The
person.
other Patel,
That's a
I'm the
different-
architect on the job, so.
Yeah. That's not
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
not the applicant.
Apologize.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll give it a couple of minutes, then I'm going to move to the next application. We'll see if Mr. Patel can correct that while we do the other one.
Yeah, perhaps, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Patel, the architect, could call offline to Mr. Patel, the property owner, and just see if there's an issue with his internet.
Could you do that, Mr. Patel?
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Just
Okay.
finish. Thank you.
We'll give you a couple of minutes here and then we'll move. If not, we're going to have to move to the other one. It looks like he's connected.
Yeah, it seems like it.
He needs to just unmute himself. If you're
And
going-
video.
All right. Can you hear me, sir?
Oh, yeah, yep, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Yes, now we hear you, sir.
Okay, sorry for this connection.
Okay. Mr. Patel, the board attorney is going to swear you in. Do you have any other witnesses except the other Mr. Patel, the architect?
No, I have myself and only architect.
Okay, the board attorney will swear you in first, sir.
Sure.
Mr. Patel, could you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do
Sure.
you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter before the board?
Yes, I do.
And can I have your first and last name, please, sir?
My first name is Kamlesh and last name is Patel.
Could you spell your first name for me, sir?
Sure. Kamlesh. Last name is Patel.
Okay. And Mr. Chairman, if you want, I will swear in the architect now also, just so we.
That would be great,
By the way.
Mr. Dasty. Thank you.
Mr. Patel, number two, would you please raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm to testify truth in this matter before the board?
I do.
And could we have your name, sir?
Sure. My first name is Avart, Aavart. Last name Patel. I'm licensed architect in New Jersey and some other states.
Can we qualify him now, Mr. Dasty?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Patel, have you testified before zoning boards and planning boards before?
Yes, I have.
You're licensed in this state, correct?
That is correct.
And when did you receive your license?
2017.
Okay, we'll accept your credentials, sir.
Thank you.
Now, Kamlesh, I hope I'm saying that correctly. We know that you've submitted an application for an addition to your home. What we'd like you to do, you're not represented by an attorney, but you do have an architect who's probably going to testify to the build. We'd like you to tell the board in your own words what you're going to do, how you're going to accomplish this, why you want to do it. And I'm sure then Mr. Patel is going to talk about the technical end of what's going to go on. Mr. Gill is probably going to tell the board why he had to send a letter of denial, probably because you need a variance. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in front of the board. So take your own time, in your own words, kind of walk us around and tell us what's going on.
Okay, back in 2017, I have a herniated disc. So L3, L4, L4, L5. I have a herniated disc and a back pain. So we don't want to move from Old Bridge. My son already bought a home. My both kids are married, and I'm grandfather now. So my son moved to Old Bridge, and we don't want to move out of Old Bridge. So me and my wife decided, because I cannot, sometimes when it happens severely, I cannot climb the staircase. So we decided to move the bedroom downstairs. So family room, I'm going to, family room will, living room will, family room will be bedroom, and I'm going to extend on the side the bathrooms. And I'm on the back side, I'm planning to build the sunroom and open the wall between the kitchen and sunroom. That is my plan. So me and my wife is only living, and we like to move downstairs our bedrooms. That is the purpose.
Okay, well, congratulations on becoming a grandfather, and congratulations on wanting to stay in Old Bridge. It makes our community stronger when we keep our residents rather than have them move out. You're going to do this, and I know you're putting a sunroom on and adding a bathroom onto the right hand. As we would look at the house, it would be to the right hand side, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The sunroom you weren't planning on using for any other living quarters, were you?
See, a sunroom with a living room. Yes, everything.
No. I said living quarters. It wouldn't turn into another bedroom for you.
Oh, no.
Okay. Why don't we let the architect, Mr. Patel, tell us what he's doing on this project. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. We are, as the college explained, we are moving the bedroom on the first floor, adding a bathroom to go with that bedroom, and then extending on the back, which will be a sunroom, a family living, which will be open to the kitchen. There is an existing patio on the back, so this will be within that patio footprint. So we are not expanding beyond that, but given this is a PUDs, plan urban development, the lots are limited size, and we're going to after the extension, we are not going to comply with the rear yard setback as well as the side yard because of the bathroom addition. So that's what we are here for today, and requesting a grant of variance on those two aspects.
Okay. That's understood. Mr. Gill, would you please tell us, I know that's two setback issues. Would you please explain that to the board?
Sure, Chairman. I'm actually going to try to make the applicant's lift a little bit lighter this evening.
Okay.
I was debating when to jump in, and I didn't want to frazzle the application, let them start their presentation. But unfortunately, I'm a little ill-prepared. I did not have the benefit of my denial letter with me this evening. And as such, I had to reevaluate the application just to make sure that everything that was being sought was appropriate. And it was during this review that I discovered that the standards that are listed in the application, the bulk tables, section 7 of the application on page 2, are not exactly correct. There is a side yard deficiency. The applicant is proposing a 6x11 small addition for the bathroom, which creates a side yard deficiency of 11.3, where 15 foot is required, and a total side yard deficiency of 29.9 feet, where 35 feet is required. However, in reviewing the standards for the application, I learned that the bulk requirement, or the bulk setback for the rear yard, is not 65 feet, it's actually 35 feet. So the applicant's proposed rear addition of 45 feet plus or minus from the rear yard setback is actually compliant. So there are only two side yard deficiencies that we need to consider this evening. One for the right side individual setback, and one for the total side yard setback.
Okay. I don't have, let me just, is that already pre-existing his deficiency?
There is an existing nonconformity,
right,
with regard to the No, there's not an existing deficiency. I apologize. No, the application indicates that there's an existing 3-foot deficiency, which is being exacerbated,
Right.
and then an existing 17 3-foot deficiency on the left side. That's not actually correct. The rear yard setback requirement for the zone is actually 15 feet with a total combined of 35 feet. So it's less onerous. The standards for the development approval, as the architect had mentioned, Mr. Patel, this is a planned unit development. So alternate standards were used to develop the standards.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gill. I'm going to go to the board and see if we have any comments or questions as of yet, and then I'll go back to see if the applicant has some more to say. Anybody on the board, if you would just raise your hand in front of me so I can recognize you. Mr. Scott, no, go ahead, sir.
Mr. Gill, is the shed affecting that side yard setback? I believe he has a shed close to the fence.
Let me just pull up the survey, Mr. Scogno, just to make sure that I'm hearing what you're saying. No, the shed is pre-existing non-conforming, but it doesn't appear to impact the addition. It's going to sandwich the walkway that's there, near as I can tell.
That's right on his line, I believe.
It is right on this line, yes. We didn't research to see whether that.
And the runoff has to be going right into the neighbor's yard.
Depending on how the roof is configured, that's correct. Maybe the applicant can speak to that. I think he was trying to chime in.
Mr. Patel?
I will move that shed, sir.
You're going to remove the shed?
No, I will move back. We will revise and we will move the shed.
Yeah, so he's planning on moving that shed, I mean, based on the recent discussions, he realized that it was right on the property line and maybe too close to the addition. So we will move it to in the backyard.
Will that hurt the setback on the side?
I mean, this is a small shed and considered an accessory structure, so we'll comply with accessory structure requirements.
Okay, Mr. Gill, if you think that's right,
Well, I think that would be ideal. It would remove a nonconformity that exists with the accessory structure.
Exactly.
I'd be in favor of the board making that a requirement if the board determined favorably on the application or condition.
We absolutely will.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else that wants to be heard at this juncture on the board? Let's see none. Mr. Dasty, we can absolutely make that. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me get Ms. Andrews. Go ahead. Just unmute you.
Have all the neighbors been notified? Has everything been taken care of clearly with them because of going against the setbacks?
They have to be notified. They all have to be notified.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that's a question we get, and just so the board's aware, in order to have an application heard to be before all of you, everyone within 200 feet has to receive notice. The applicant has to provide proof that notice went out. So they would not be here, any applicant would not be here if the required notice was not sent out.
I can also confirm that we did receive the noticing proofs from the applicant.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else on the board? All right. So, Mr. Dasty, back to you. We can make that part of the, if there's an approval, that shed would have to comply and be moved to the backyard and of course, stay off the property line in the back. What is it, 5 feet, Damien?
Chairman, it's 3 foot for an accessory structure. It appears to be under 150 square feet.
Okay, 3 foot. So see, if there was in the corner, it'd be 3 foot on each side, right?
Right.
3 foot on the corner. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as a condition of approval, the board could require that the shed be moved to an area that's conforming and not encroaching on any of the setbacks.
Okay.
That's correct, sir. And Mr. Chairman, if I may, for just a second, I was making notes. Want to make sure I have the variance relief that's now being requested, and Damien can correct me if I'm wrong. The side yard is 15 feet and they're at 11.1, and the combined side yard is 35 feet and they're at 29.19.
No, it's 11.3 is the
Right.
proposal,
Right?
where 15 foot is required, and 29.9, where 35 foot is required, according to the plans.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. And there is no front yard setback variance, right?
No,
'Cause in the
it's a
schedule.
conforming application with
Okay.
regard to the front and to the rear, which was identified as a needed
Yep.
variance.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, board members, now, Mr. Patel, the applicant. Again, I want to reemphasize, you're not putting any into that structure other than electric. You're not running any plumbing into the sunroom, correct?
In the sunroom, heating and cooling and lighting, that's it.
Right, electric, and I would assume
Yeah,
heating. but I'm saying
nothing else. No,
Okay.
nothing else. No plumbing, no plumbing.
Right, the plumbing would be going obviously into the bathroom.
Yes, yes, please. Yes.
Okay. And it's not going to be enclosed other than, I guess, is the glass. Would you describe it to us, please? Or Mr. Patel, the architect?
Yeah, so the sunroom has windows on all sides, mainly the insulated glass, vinyl or clad type windows, and it has a patio on the side. There's going to be a small deck, so there's a side door. Fairly simple structure. I think there are elevations included as part of the elevation. All the finishes will more or less match with the existing structure. And one of his requirement was that he needs a lot of glass to bring a lot of light in. So we'll try to minimize the blank walls. Mainly most of the wall surface will be insulated glass.
Correct. And there's a door that goes out to the deck, correct?
Yeah, to the side of the addition,
as well as into the home.
Yeah.
Okay. Board members, pretty straightforward. But I shouldn't take it as such. Does anyone have any questions? No? All right, Mr. Patel, the applicant, doesn't seem as the board has any questions. So what I'm going to do is open this to the public portion, okay?
Yes.
All right. All right, this is matter 2-2022Z, located at 48 Stratton Road. This is for a home addition of a sunroom and bathroom, the sunroom being to the rear, the bathroom being to the right side of the house as one of the faces. There's phone numbers listed on a card in front of you if you're watching on any device. If you have anything you'd like to comment or ask questions about on this matter, please call one of those phone numbers at this time. The board will probably act on this tonight, so if you have an issue, you would probably want to call in now. Ms. C, is there anyone in queue?
There are no raised hands.
Okay, we'll give it a minute or so. Once again, board, once again, if you're watching and you want to speak on this matter, or you have a question on this matter, now would be the time to do it, because once the public portion is closed for the evening, the board is going to probably take a vote on this. I'll ask the applicant, but I'm fairly certain that's what he's here for. Any final comments, Mr. Patel, the applicant, while I'm waiting to see if we get any other calls?
No comments.
Okay. And Mr. Patel, the architect, anything else you want to put up as a final comment?
No, unless anyone has questions.
No, and you realize there's no more
answer.
there's no more rear yard setback. It's just the two.
Yep.
Okay. Did we get any calls, Ms. C?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Dasty, have we provided sufficient time?
That is sufficient time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to close the public portion. Board members, Mr. Patel, you do want me to take a vote on this, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, this would be a C variance. There's two yard setbacks. One would be the right side yard, and then the total side yard. Total side yard being requiring 35, 29.9 is going to be what's left. And the side yard would be minimum 15, and it's going to be 11.3. Does someone want to move these two C variances?
I'll move it with conditions, Scogno?
With the condition as far as the shed, correct, sir?
That's correct.
All right. Is there a second?
Testaverde, second.
Moved in second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. Best of luck. We don't have a resolution, right? We'll have it next week.
I do, Mr. Chairman. I can add Libet if you want to indulge me.
Yes, by all means, sir.
The applicant's here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for C variance relief for side yard and combined side yard setbacks. The applicant, Mr. Patel, testified that his family wants to stay in Old Bridge, and the reason for the addition on the property is so that they can move their master bedroom downstairs because he has some medical issues going up and down the stairs. He testified in support of the application as well as his architect, Mr. Patel. That there would not be a living space in this sunroom addition. There would not be any plumbing to this sunroom addition, and that the granting of the variance can be granted without a substantial detriment to the public good and will not impair the intent of the zone plan or zoning ordinance. The ordinance or the variance relief sought 15 feet on the side yard and 11.3 feet is proposed. And the combined side yard 35 or rear side yard, 35 feet is required, 29.9 feet is proposed. A de minimis setback variance relief. And the applicant also agreed as a condition of approval that the shed will be moved to the rear yard and will not encroach on any of the setback requirements.
Excuse me, Mr. Dusty. Just a quick correction. You said there won't be any living space. It would be sleeping space. I mean, the sunroom is going to be a living space.
It's going to be
it's a sunroom living space. It's
okay.
not going to be a sleeping area, like a bedroom.
A living space. Excuse me. It's not going to be a bedroom. There's not going to be an additional bedroom. I apologize.
Got it. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
And sir, can I move my shed in front of that deck? Deck we're going to build it not all the way there. I don't want to block the view.
We'll talk about it. It has to be 3 feet from the side property line and 3 feet from the back line, so it can stay in that area. We'll talk about it.
Mr. Patel and Mr. Patel, the board's already voted on the application. This is just my ad lib of the resolution memorializing that approval that certainly you will both see. So, we're not going to undo what's already been voted upon. I appreciate the verbal typographical error that I had, Mr. Patel, the architect, with regard to the living space. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, board members, you've heard the resolution as per Mr. Dasty. If someone in favor of move for adoption, please.
Honor, motion to approve.
Second, Stoner.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. Thank you very much, both Mr. Patels, for your appearance.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very
Have a good
much.
evening.
Good luck.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board members, it brings us to our last application of the evening. It's 17-2022Z. It's Angela, I hope I say right, Pacinella. It's a medium.
Pacinella.
I'm sorry?
Pacinella.
What is it?
Pacinella.
Pacinella, okay, I'm sorry. It's a block 15503 lot 775 ZR6 zone. This location is 20 Stevens Avenue. It's for home addition requiring a C variance. Once again, let me see where you are on the screen. Okay, I see up on my screen. Ms. Pacinella, are you going to be the only one to testify?
Well, my husband's here with me, so I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what the
Oh, no, and I have my architect too. Courtney is the architect who's here with me as well.
Who is?
Courtney Lowry.
Okay, very good.
Thanks.
Okay, we will swear in both Mr. and Mrs. Pacinella first, please, Mr. Dasty.
Yes, sir. Ms. Pacinella and Mr. Pacinella, can you both raise your right hand, please?
He's actually Kennedy. I'm sorry. His last name's Kennedy.
All right, well, then, Ms. Pacinella, I'm going to do you first then. Let's break it up that way. Ms. Pacinella, do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter before the board?
Yes.
And can we have your name, please?
Angela Pacinella.
Pacinella.
Yes,
And sir, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter before the board?
Yes.
And sir, can I have your name, please? Or can we have your name?
Chris Kennedy.
CHRIS?
That's correct.
Can you spell your last name, please, sir?
Kennedy.
And you and Miss Pasnell are husband and wife, owners of the
Yes.
property? Okay.
yes.
Mr. Chairman, do you want me to turn to the architect now?
Why don't we just do that, Mr. Dasty? Yes.
Sure. Miss Lowry, could you raise your right hand for us, please? Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this matter before the board?
I do.
And can we have your name, please, sir? Or ma'am, excuse me.
Courtney, Courtney. Lowry, Lowry.
And you are a professional architect?
Yes, I'm a licensed architect in New Jersey since 2014. I also have an active license in Florida since 2015.
Ms. Lowry, you've testified before boards before,
Yes, I have.
both zoning and planning, I would assume,
Yes, I have.
and in this state.
Yes, and historic preservation as well.
Okay, thank you very much. We accept your credentials.
Thank you very much.
Are you going to, I'm going to go to the Passanellis and Mr. Kennedy first. Why don't I go to you, ma'am, first? Are you going to, as I explained before, kind of walk us around, tell us what's going on there, what you're trying to do, how you're going to accomplish it, or you're just going to turn this over to the architect?
No, I can tell you what we want to do.
Sure, why don't you do that, ma'am?
Okay, so we've lived here since 2008. We have the 2 children in the school district, and as they're getting older, we're looking for more space. We already have a garage that's converted into a family room, and we're looking to add an addition above it, making it to build a master bedroom with a bathroom and a walk-in closet. So that's the addition we're looking to add. It has a cantilever, and I'm told that that's a little bit too, that's why I need the variance. It's a little too far out.
So this structure, it's just going on top of what's there on the first floor where the garage used to be, correct?
Correct. There's nothing, the footprint on that side yard is not going to change.
Okay. And Mr. Kennedy, anything you want to add at this particular time?
No, not at this time.
Right. Why don't I go to the architect, Ms. Lowry, and why don't you walk us around, and then we'll go to Mr. Gill and we'll see why we need a variance.
Sure. So the current house has, let me just get to the plan. Do you want me to share my screen?
Ms. C, can we do that?
Would that be helpful?
I don't believe you would be able to, but I do have them available. So I can share my screen, and then
Excellent.
if you need me to navigate anywhere, just let me know.
Sure. Okay, can you go to the next page? Keep going. The following page. There you go. Okay. Stop there. So what you see here on the left side of the screen, I believe, is the foundation plan. It's a partially finished basement. The first floor plan on the right side of the screen, 2A4, what that is reflecting is the new, we're removing the wall from the previous garage. It separates, they have like a living room in the front, the kitchen behind, and then this sunken family room on the left where the garage previously was. So what we're doing is raising the floor and taking out the walls to make that a more functional, larger space. And then you could scroll up just a tiny bit so we get the floor the other way. There you go, the second floor plan on the bottom left. So what this is showing is the addition of the master bedroom over that garage space. In order to get the width that we needed for the bedroom, there is a 2-foot cantilever over the side yard, and that's what's triggering the variance due to we don't meet the combined side yard setback. And with that, pretty much we need the 2 feet in order to have a functional master bedroom space. They also have a walk-in closet, a master bath, and then the main bath is going to be redone in the center with the 2 front bedrooms for the kids. And then they're going to maintain a small guest room in the back corner. And if you want to scroll to the next page, you can see the elevation. There it is. This is the front elevation in the corner, top left corner. That's showing the 2-foot cantilever over the side of the garage. We tried to tie the roof line in as best as possible so it didn't look like a square kind of hanging off the side of the house, and adding a gable over the front porch, which will give it a little more curb appeal, and then also tie the whole addition together. So that's pretty much it. Below the front elevation, you could see the rear elevation, which also reflects that 2-foot cantilever. And that's the architecturals.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gill?
Thank you, Chairman. Well, I mean, given the straightforwardness of the application, and how clear and concise the applicant, I really don't have much to add. The issue here is that there is a cantilever, and while the footprint of the building is not changing, the building is getting closer to the property line vis-a-vis that 2-foot addition bump out on the side to accommodate the square footage and the configuration that the homeowner was seeking. The existing setbacks are only changing on this one side by about, even though there's a 2-foot bump out, the existing house, there's really only about a 1/2 foot that's really changing. It's going from 11 foot and a half down to, I'm sorry, it's going from a little over 11 foot to a little over 9.5 feet. So it's not even a full 2 feet that it's decreasing because the existing structure that was there. But technically speaking, there is a side yard setback, 9.51, where 10 foot is required. And then the total side yard setback is 22.68, where a minimum of 25 is required. And those are the 2 variances that they're seeking this evening.
Okay. Board members, I'll go to questions if you raise your hand. Mr. Scogno, you're up first.
Thank you very much. Going through the neighborhood, it seems like all your homes that in that block area had that design of your home. And by adding a bedroom on top, Mr. Gill, wouldn't that change the whole look of the neighborhood? Because they all seem to be the same to me.
Well,
did you mean in a positive or negative way?
I don't know if we're getting negative from the neighbors with this type of constructions, because all the homes look like their homes. I guess they were built in that format.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know that a 2-foot bump out over the existing garage area that was converted, I don't know that there would be enough there to constitute a change in character. There certainly are technical conditions here that need to be sought. But in this development and in the surrounding neighborhood, many homeowners have expanded driveways and converted garages to living space to get a little extra square footage. A lot of these homes, these garages were built to accommodate the cars of yesteryear. So they're not as wide. And a lot of people have complained historically that you can't fit a modern car in some of these garages, and that's why it kind of goes away. So yes, I think that the natural evolution and the change in technology has created this trend of making some improvements. But I don't think a 2-foot bump out is going to create a character change.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Passano, would you, are there not a few other homes on the house, on the block that have done pretty much a similar build?
Yes, in the neighborhood, there are other houses, some that I think have done it nicely with probably with an architect, and others that have just kind of dropped another extra room on top. But yeah, there are other houses like ours, and there's about 3 or 4 designs of homes in the neighborhood. None of them are very large for what is, considered now. So there's a lot of people doing different sort of additions and a lot of building in the neighborhood, adding on to the current homes, because people do want to stay in Old Bridge. It's a great town to be in.
So you would,
and
would
trying
you
to
say,
make
would
it
you say
work.
it's not out of character is what I'm
No,
getting at.
I don't think it's out of character. And I kind of, in talking to Courtney, said like, we don't want to be, like, I didn't want to put a 3rd floor on the house. I want it to kind of still fit into the neighborhood.
Correct.
With giving us, because none of the houses are built with master bedrooms either. There's none of them were built like that in the 60s.
Right, and from the
So
plans
there
that from the plans that you've submitted that I've seen, it looks like it would be in character with the rest.
Right, I agree.
Okay. Board members, any final questions before I go to a public portion here? This is very similar to the other ones. It's a total setback and side setback. I'm hearing no questions. Let me go to a public portion now. This is 17-2022Z. The location is 20 Stevens Avenue, Old Bridge. This is for a addition on the home 2nd floor above the what would have been the garage area, which that was already changed. So it's a home addition, just requiring a side yard, 2 side yard setbacks. If anyone wants to speak on this matter, those numbers that you see in front of you, you feel free to call in. This is the time to do so, because after the public portion is closed, there will not be another public portion, and it's very likely that the board will take a vote on this matter. So if you have questions, concerns, or you'd like to speak about it, please do so now. We'll give you a little time. Any final comments, Ms. Pasmella or Mr. Kennedy, that you'd like to say while we're waiting?
No, I think that's about it.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, very good. And Ms. Larry, you're satisfied with the presentation, correct?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. C, is anyone in queue, I should say?
There are no raised hands.
Okay. I think my cockatoo is yelling that he wants to talk. I'm not going to let him weigh in on this. So.
He's objecting, Mr. Chairman. He's objecting.
No, he's not. He's very supportive.
He can come over anytime.
He never objects. He never objects. Anyone in queue yet, Ms. C?
Still none, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Dasty, we've given sufficient time?
Yes, sir.
All right. Having given that sufficient time, I'm going to close the public portion. Final comments, boards, any questions about what we're voting on? Okay, it's the same as the other one. There's a side yard setback, I guess, by a little slightly under 2 foot because of the cantilever. It really didn't leave the footprint, but the total, it would be total side yard is less than required. And this one would be about a little less than 2 foot. No questions? Someone in favor of moving relief for this property? Okay, I will. Is there a second?
Second, Testaverde.
Okay, it's moved in second. Roll call, please, Ms. C.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. We have a resolution?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicants appeared before the board tonight seeking C variance relief pursuant to NJSA 40:55D-70C. The applicant seeks 2 bulk variances for side yard, for a total side yard where 25 feet are required and 22.68 feet is proposed, and side yard where 10 feet is required and 9.51 feet is proposed. The applicant provided unrefuted testimony in support of the application that it is a home addition, adding a master bedroom above the family room to the 2nd floor, which would not be inconsistent with the neighborhood and would not be a detriment to the public good, and certainly would not impair the zone plan or zoning ordinance. The applicant indicated that the essentially loss of the 2 feet is because of the bump out because of the addition, but it's certainly not going to infringe upon the a footprint of the home. The matter is open to the public. No member of the public testifies with support of the application. The board finds that the granting of the variance is not inconsistent with the neighborhood and will not impair the intent of the zone plan or zoning ordinance. That is the resolution, Mr. Chairman.
We please add that the addition is going to match the house, and the construction has to be 1 year from the issuance of the building permits.
Yes, sir. Got it. Yes, sir.
And the Pasanellas, you understand that, right? Has to match.
It has to match like the architect plans?
Deciding this, it would have to match the rest of the house that's already
Oh,
standing.
we're reciting the whole house.
Okay, that's fine, as long as it matches, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. All right, you've heard the resolution. Someone in favor of moving it?
I'll move it. Stoner.
Mr.
Second,
Stoner,
Scogno.
second Scogno. Roll call, please, Mr.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. Thank you very much. Good luck on your project.
Mr.
Thank
Sullivan,
you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
do we still have to wait
Thank you.
30 days for the resolution period?
No, we just voted on it.
Okay, so the contractor could submit as soon as next week if he so chose.
Mr. Dasty?
You will have the resolution is going to go to you tomorrow. I'll get it to Miss C, and she will distribute it to whoever the contact person is, either Miss Pasanella or you. So you should have the resolution in hand, hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow, latest Monday, and then you'll be able to go get a building permit.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If I may add to
Thank-
that, Chairman,
ahead.
for the benefit of Ms. Pasanella, when you submit your application, you can start getting it ready, but submit the application, submit a copy of the resolution. That way the board, the receiver already knows that you went through the process, and it comes to me for expedited review. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
wonderful. I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gill.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ms. Lowry and Pasanellas. Best of luck on your project. All right, that brings us, we're done with the applications, and I'm going to ask for some indulgence. Ms. Sawant, unfortunately, I was a little, I didn't get to finish the entire report. I want to see if we can move that to another meeting, the annual report. That's why I moved it to the end, because I was going to ask for that. I'd just like a little bit more time to look at it, if that's okay with you.
No problem. No problem, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that, but I ran a little long today with some other duties, so work was a little, I kind of got home about 6:30, so I was running late. Thank you very much, Ms. Sawant. Other board members, will open up public portion at this point. Quickly to the public, if anyone has any comments, we'll put the screen up. We have no more applications for this evening. This will be our last bit of business. This is general public comments. Please call the phone numbers that you see in front of you right now, and we will entertain any comments, whether they be in reference to this or other zoning board issues. Is anyone in queue?
I don't see any raised hands, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll wait a minute or so. Having said that, board, we'll come around once around as we do. If anybody has any comments that they'd like to make, I'll certainly entertain each member as we go around. Let's just see if anybody from the public goes in first. Let's see, we have someone? No?
There are none.
We're done? All right, let me go around the board. We can leave that up. I can see it, all the people anyway. Any of the board members? I'll start with Mr. Scogno. Anything? I can't see your face, so you're gonna have to mute. The screen is up in front of you.
No, sir, not at this time. Thank you very much.
Okay, Miss Andrews.
Nope, everyone have a happy weekend.
Thank you, Miss Testaverde.
None at all. I apologize for my missed meeting and have a beautiful, safe upcoming summer.
Thank you. Listen, it's things happen in life that we are volunteers, and we fully understand when sometimes we just cannot make these. So, but thank you. There's no real need to apologize, but it's certainly accepted. Mr. Kunzowicz, any comments?
No, sir. All good.
Okay, Mr. Stoner?
Nothing on my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Connor?
None here, sir.
Okay, I hope I haven't missed anybody. I don't think I have. Mr. Dasty?
And nothing, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I see one raised hand.
okay, let's go to that, please. Public comments, we're going to swear people in, Mr. Dasty, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can that person hear us?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, could you identify yourself by name, please?
Absolutely. Nina Jockenwood, West Greystone Road, 2
I
and 3.
recognize your voice.
How are you this evening?
Very good. Mr. Dasty will swear you in, Ms. Jockenwood.
Ms. Jockowitz, do you swear or affirm to testify truth in this matter before the board, ma'am?
Absolutely, 100%. I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
And could we just ask you to spell your last name to the extent that Ms. TC needs to spell it?
Absolutely. J-O-C-H. Are you ready, by the way? You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
J-O-C-H-N-O-W-I-T-Z.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, the floor is yours, Ms. Jacobs.
Actually, I'm before you because one of your committee members acted inappropriately at a council meeting. And I was wondering.
Well, I don't, wait a minute. I'm going to go seek counsel on that matter. I think personnel matters are not, that has something to do
Okay,
with this
so
board.
can I,
Well,
wait a minute.
ma'am.
That's okay. That's okay, Mr. Sullivan, Chairman, that's fine.
Okay.
The council,
Yes, ma'am.
you have the spelling of my last name, right?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
You have the spelling of my last name, correct?
I do, ma'am. Miss TC has it.
Beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, beautiful. So add an N to that and then put @gmail.com and then email me and I'll go through it with you because I need to file an ethics complaint against one of your committee members.
Well,
Okay.
ma'am, a public comment is just a public comment. I'm not your attorney. I can advise you what you
No,
can and can't.
no. You don't need to advise me. If this is a complaint against a committee member, do you want me to publicly complain about it publicly right here now? I'll be happy to.
No,
That matter should be handled, it should go to the township attorney.
Oh, Mr. Rizzoli?
Yeah, if there's an ethics issue that you want to bring up, that's how I would start off on that.
Okay, I'll be happy to. Can you make sure that the zoning person, she knows who she is, does not touch me ever again and never spits on my son again, and I'll be happy to go through
Further,
that.
we don't make allegations that I don't know who you're talking about and why, but if there is a complaint, then certainly you have every right to bring that to the attention.
There is a police complaint, yes, there is.
All right, then I'm sure that'll be handled by the township attorney then. But we thank you.
Beautiful, I'll be happy to. Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. You
Thank
guys
you.
have a beautiful evening, good summer.
You do the same. Thank you. Okay, anybody else calling in, Missy?
No.
All right, I think we'll close the public portions for the evening. Board members, we've all had it once around, and I don't think there's any more comments. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Mr. Connor, is there a second for adjournment?
Second, Scott, no.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Stoner,
Yes.
Ms. Chevalier,
Yes.
Mr. Scogno,
Yes.
Ms. Andrews,
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde,
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes. I believe that our next meeting will be June 2nd. Am I correct, Missy? And that's in person.
That is correct.
And that's in person, board. So
Correct.
have a good Memorial Day weekend. We'll see everybody right after, hopefully in the beginning of June. Mr. Dasty, thank you again for counsel.
God bless you.
Have a nice evening, everyone.
All righty. Good night, everyone.
All right.